game-changing Facebook ads tactic everyone overlooks. I cannot believe there are still people not doing this with their ads. Discover how manual thumbnail selection can transform your campaign results. It's a strategy I discovered when working with Audit, a 9-figure DTC brand. So here's what happened. In one of the tests, 90% of my ad spend was going to this specific creative. My audience loved it, Facebook loved it, and most importantly, my client loved it, because of the great results, obviously. But what actually happened? I launched 3 new videos in 2 dynamic creatives back in the day when dynamic creative was a thing. Same 3 videos in both dynamic creative, with the same ad copy, same headline, same budget, but 2 different prospecting audiences. After a few days, I noticed that one of the creative is getting 90% of the ad spend, and it's crushing in each of the dynamic creative. As always in dynamic creative, Facebook was favorizing certain creative, but I never thought to this extent. So I thought like, okay, Facebook picked the winner. But what was interesting thing that was different, the video that was a winner in each DCO was a different one. So I thought like, okay, how Facebook actually picked the winner? But then I noticed that the winning video in one dynamic creative had a close-up of a product as a thumbnail. And in video 2, in test 2, the other had a logo of collaboration. You can see here the winning one with the logo, and here the winning one with the close-up. These were our usual winning styles of a thumbnail, but I never thought it's that important. So I told that to my reps about this test. They said like, assets have traction, so Facebook sometimes favors certain one, but then like it's totally different asset that was used. It's the same video, but it's a different thumbnail. So that was obviously not a good enough explanation for me, because the video should have attraction, not thumbnail. Also, the same assets were launched at the same time, and the winner had a different thumbnail, not the same one. So there could be no traction. So I did some digging and I relaunched the test in a regular creative, not in a DCO. But then again, another video with this style of thumbnail turned out to be the winner. So I thought like, okay, it's not a video that is determining the winner, it's a thumbnail. So again, asked my reps about it, and they said like they think the algorithm doesn't have the power to analyze the video, that it can only read text and images. To be honest, not sure, is it Facebook's favorizing the thumbnail or the user, considering users see it only for a fraction of a second when the videos are on autoplay. But in the breakdown, it's clearly visible that over 99% of videos started on autoplay. So it's definitely not a user thing, it's an algo thing. Later, I got a confirmation that Facebook treats each new instances of a video if you change the thumbnail. So if you have the same video with 2 different thumbnails, Facebook treats that as 2 different ads. So it got me thinking how many potentially good videos were wasted just because I pick a bad thumbnail. So from now on, I'm testing each video with 2 different thumbnails to increase my chances of finding a winning thumbnail. Here's my full step-by-step breakdown, but I always select thumbnail manually. If I have a hook that's communicating the angle, then I select that initial frame from the video as my first variation, because I want my hook and thumbnail to be aligned. Then potentially I have additional thumbnail from the video. I always try to find some frame that I think could be a potential good performer. For example, close-up of a face, of a product, something weird, something eye-catching. And then with the winners, I test additional custom thumbnail that's either a winning thumbnail from my previous winners or a custom thumbnail as a uploaded image. Also, what I found well, that's kind of my pro tip, when I find some static that's working well as its own, basically an image, I try that as a thumbnail. And if I see that none of the thumbnail style is working with the video, then I would declare that video a loser. Considering massive role of a thumbnail in the potential success of the creative, so far this was my bulletproof process. But now that we learned that thumbnail can either make or break your ad, I started testing thumbnails massively, and after hundreds of thumbnails, I found these 6 winning styles that pretty much work for me, that are favored both by Facebook and by users. So let's jump into that. So the first one is a close-up of a face. Similar to the hook of the ad, a close-up of a face works amazingly well as a thumbnail as well, because people are just more drawn to the ad when they see another person's face. I also found out it helps when you use a person or a user that's actually your target persona. For example, if you're targeting older audience, that you have a thumbnail of an older person as a thumbnail. 2. Close-up of a product. This works extremely well even when you zoom in the product so much that you can barely understand what the product actually is. So it works extremely well with apparel and shoe niche. I guess because of the texture, material, and the patterns are very important in those niches, so people like to see that. Style number 3 is something weird or something satisfying. Just think of all those TikTok videos you watched. It's in human nature to like the patterns, to like the symmetry, and to like the repetition. But don't just throw a random shot that is weird or satisfying. Make it relatable to the rest of your video. Number 4, split screen or collage style. So this is something unexpected in the feed, so it catches the attention. Again, this was a style that I found out after having a winning statting, decided to test it on a video, and pretty much it works a lot of time. Style number 5 is pain point with an X sign. Basically using an X sign or a check mark worked very good for us as a static, so I started testing that as a thumbnail, and that was definitely a good decision. Combining it with a problem like in this case your audience has, it's a match made in heaven. And number 6, it's a custom thumbnail. If there's no frame from the video that is one of these 5 styles previously explained, I get my designer to create me a custom thumbnail. A note here is that the format of the thumbnail needs to be the same as a video. So if your video is 4x5, the thumbnail also needs to be 4x5. You can see the thumbnail is a huge part of the ad creation process. If you're an ecom brand spending at least $50K a month and want me to implement this process in your ad account to scale, book a call with me below. If you're not there yet, just like and subscribe and check out one of my previous videos in which I broke down the winning videos by some 9-figure products. Cheers!